booked the medical for Jadon Sancho for this coming Friday. Manchester United have rejected the opportunity to sign Chelsea star, and an update on Victor Lindelof, Erikson, plus lots more. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 p.m. UK time. So make sure you get involved. Completely free content and everyone is welcome. I'm just getting myself a little bit more settled. Right. I want to start off by talking about Scott McTominay because this story broke about half an hour ago and I was pleasantly surprised. This is coming up from Duncan Castles, who was actually the first journalist to break Manuel Ugarte's deal to Manchester United. And he is reporting this evening that apparently the final fee for Scott McTominay to Napoli will be 30.5 million euros. And the really interesting thing about this is he goes on to say that apparently there is no add-ons. So most of the journalists have been saying that it will be 30 million euros including add-ons, right? Which makes you think, like, how much are we getting up front, all the rest of it. Apparently, Man United are asking for all of it up front. So they're getting the full, I think it's about 26 million pounds is the conversion, 30.5 million euros or 26 million pounds. But the point I'm making here is they're getting all of the money up front with no add-ons, which I think is really, really clever because that would be 26 million pounds straight in the bank. Obviously 100% profit because he's come through the youth academy. And he also confirms as well that apparently Manchester United have a 10% sell-on clause as well. So if in a couple of years McTominay moves to another club, Man United will get 10% of that fee. So overall, I think it's a good deal. I think the fact that it's, you know, being paid up front makes it a lot more sweet. If it was all in like little chunks and 20 million here, 5 million for this, I think it would put me off a little bit, but yeah, the fact that we're getting all of the fee up front for McTominay, the fact that it's 100% profit and will massively help our profit and sustainability kind of issues, if you like, because we have had some issues, haven't we, over the last 12 months with, you know, not being able to get rid of players. And I think that finally the curse has been lifted, if you like, and Ineos seem to be able to sell players, because if you include McTominay's transfer fee, to this point, Man United have raised about 110 million pounds or about 130 million euros, depending on whether you're English or, you know, you do it in pound or euros. But the point I'm making is we've made over 100 million in one window, which for Manchester United is a rarity. You know, if you look at last season, we made like next to nothing. Season before that, next to nothing. And the crazy thing is Scott McTominay is going to go down as the 6th most expensive sale in Manchester United's history, which is absolutely mind-boggling when you think that, you know, other teams in the Premier League are selling players you've never even heard of from their youth academy for like 30, 40 million euros. But that's something that Ineos are working on. It's something that isn't going to happen overnight. And I think that this summer we have seen massive improvements in the recruitment and in the recruitment team's ability to move on players surplus to requirements. Obviously, there's still people like Maguire here who, I'll be honest, I don't have a massive problem with Maguire staying for one season. If no one wants to buy him, I think he's an okay player to have kind of around as a backup option. Would I start him? No, but in certain games, I think he is an okay player to have. You know, if you want to play a bit more defensive, you know, if you want a little bit more height and physical presence in your box, then he's a good player to have. But yeah, I think, you know, the players we've got rid of, we've done an amazing job so far this season. So I'm really happy. But keeping on the topics of outgoings, we have got a bit of an update for you on Christian Eriksen and on Victor Lindelof. These two players both look likely to leave the club before the end of the window, which is amazing. So let's start with Christian Eriksen. Obviously, we've spoke about this on the show before, but at the moment, it looks like Ajax are the club leading the race to sign Christian Eriksen. Apparently, they're in talks with Manchester United. It seems to me that Ajax are trying to get him for free, because the thing we have to remember with Eriksen is we got him from Brentford 2 years ago for nothing. We didn't pay a transfer fee, right? He's got 1 year left on his deal. He's on 150k a week. And let's be honest, he's surplus to requirements. Now that Mason Mount is fit and available, Eriksen's not going to play. Like, maybe he'll play in like a League Cup. Maybe. Probably not even then. Maybe he'd play in a Europa League game if we'd already qualified, but I still think he wouldn't even play then. So, yeah, for me personally, like, Eriksen has to go. And I think even if we could get anywhere between, say, 2 and 5 million, I'd be happy with that, because it would be 100% profit because we paid no transfer fee for him. And obviously the alternative is that he stays for 12 months. We pay his 150k a week wages, which is about 7 million a season. he probably only plays maybe at the very, very most, I would say, 10 games this season, and then we lose him for nothing next year. So, yeah, that's the situation with Christian Eriksen. I would definitely be moving him on without a shadow of a doubt. Somebody saying that Mason Mount is injured. We don't know about Mason Mount being injured yet. We're just assuming that. So, yeah. Okay, but yeah, so Christian Eriksen to Ajax, that's definitely one to watch in the final days of the window. And then Victor Lindelof as well. Apparently, Lindelof is attracting a lot of interest from top European clubs at the moment. So this is coming up from multiple different people in the UK this afternoon. So apparently the main club that are after Lindelof is Lazio, which I think's I wasn't going to expect that, to be honest, but I think Lindelof would do really, really well in Italian football. I think, the Serie A would be perfect for Victor Lindelof. It's a little bit more slow, and the pace situation would probably play in his favour. So, yeah, Victor Lindelof to Lazio looks like one to keep an eye on in the final days of the window. And the report also says that apparently there are a number of other teams who are interested in signing Victor Lindelof. It's not just Lazio. So apparently Fiorentina, Eintracht Frankfurt and a few Saudi Pro League clubs are interested in signing him before the end of the transfer window. So yeah, I imagine Lindelof probably will go. Obviously, the thing we have to remember is the Saudi transfer window doesn't close until mid-October. So even though our window closes in 48 hours on Friday, the Saudi window doesn't close for another 6 weeks after that. So there still is a strong possibility that people like Lindelof, maybe even Casemiro, maybe if an offer came in, like they still could move. It's just whether Manchester United feel like they have the squad depth to see them through to January, which I think we probably do in the centre-back position. Obviously, by the time it gets to October, Lenny Yoro will be back. So we'd have Maguire, Lenny Yoro, Martinez, De Ligt, Johnny Evans. So we'd have 5 centre-backs, which is enough, I think. And obviously, Luke Shaw can cover at left-sided centre-back. So I think you definitely could, at that point, let Lindelof go without a shadow of a doubt. Then with Casemiro, obviously, if we get Manuel Ugarte, I imagine he'll probably start Manuel Ugarte, hopefully, going forward. And then you obviously have Toby Collier as a backup, which, isn't terrible. I think that's quite good. And obviously, Man United then could potentially go and strengthen in the January window as well, if they sold Lindelof and Casemiro outside of the current transfer window. So, yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a couple more players out before the end of the window. That's what I'm hoping for. I think, the window could quite easily be a 10 out of 10 window, I think, if we can get rid of a couple more players. So, yeah. Danielle says, "Hi, guys. I am a Juventus fan. I'm writing from Italy. Is Sancho going to Juventus then? Here in Italy, they say that it is close, but it is not yet a done deal. Can anybody answer me?" Thank you for bringing that up. We will be talking about Jadon Sancho now. Before we get on to Jadon Sancho, we've got over 1,400 people watching the video live now. If you could all do me a small favour and smash a like, that'd be really, really appreciated. It helps to bring more people into the channel. So if you haven't done that yet, please go and do that right now. And make sure you subscribe as well. We're very, very close to 40k. So yeah, go and get involved. When we hit 40k, I'm going to give away 2 Manchester United shirts. So please go and subscribe if you haven't already. Right, let's talk about Jadon Sancho then. So there are some journalists or some people saying that it's a done deal. It doesn't seem like it's a done deal yet. That's the short answer. There are some journalists who are, however, going out with the story that it's a done deal and that everything's been agreed and all the rest of it. But by way of the reliable journalists, at the moment, it's not a done deal. But what has been confirmed is that apparently Juventus have booked a medical for this Friday for Jadon Sancho. So they're confident that they can get the deal done. This was reported by multiple different people earlier on today that they've scheduled a medical for Friday. But at this moment in time, the deal is not done. Now, my understanding is that Juventus are still offering a loan with some of his wages paid, a loan fee, but then at the end of it, they're only willing to do a buy option, which means effectively in 12 months' time, if Jadon Sancho doesn't succeed at Juventus, they can say, we don't want him and he comes back to Manchester United. And I'll be honest with you, this is the last thing that I want to happen. I think that would be an absolutely terrible decision if we do that. Awful decision. I mean, it's great for Juventus because they're effectively saying, you know what? Let us borrow him. You pay half of his wages. If he flops, we'll send him back. If he does well, we'll buy him. We can't do that. We can't risk that. So for me personally, the priority has to be to sell him. If we can't sell him, You do a loan with an obligation to buy next summer, 30, 40 million euros, something like that. If you can't do that, I would swap him for Raheem Sterling at Chelsea. And then if that fails, I probably wouldn't even loan him with the buy option. I just think it doesn't make any sense. I think it would be better to just keep him in the squad, or even just put him in the under-21s. Because, like, sending Jadon to Juventus and paying half of his salary, for me, that's just enabling him. You know, that's letting him... That's telling our other players that you can effectively call up the manager and Manchester United will continue to pay your wages, you know? We shouldn't be doing that. You know, you see how ruthless Chelsea are. Like Sterling, Ben Chilwell, Chalobah, Conor Gallagher, they did nothing wrong at Chelsea. The manager and the club just decided they didn't want them and have just thrown them out for no reason. Jadon Sancho publicly called out the manager of our club. Publicly. Like, that's not the kind of behaviour that you want to reward, is it? And even before that, like, he didn't look like he was interested. He was turning up late to training, all the rest of it. You know, he has been a toxic person, I think, since he's been at Manchester United. And it obviously doesn't help that he's on 250 grand a week, which obviously makes me or you as a normal person who loves this club think this guy's just here for money and he doesn't care. Which is the truth, isn't it? He clearly doesn't care about Manchester United whatsoever. He just wants money. So yeah, for me personally, if Man United agree to this this loan with a buy option, I would be really, really disappointed. Emmanuel says, why have you written medical book then? Because the medical has been booked. If you listen to what I just said, widely reported that Jadon Sancho Juventus have booked a medical for Jadon Sancho on Friday. So yeah, at the moment, there isn't an agreement in place. So anybody who's saying there is, well, as far as I can tell, it's not correct. Fabrizio is saying that Juventus are working hard to get a deal done. He says active talks ongoing. This was about half an hour ago. And then he also confirms, this is coming from Fabrizio Romano. This isn't from me. This is from Fabrizio. Half an hour ago, he says Juventus have offered a loan with a buy option for Jadon Sancho. He says United are asking for an obligation to buy, but Juventus want to do an option to buy. Negotiations are now ongoing. So it's exactly what I just said, isn't it? That Man United want there to be an obligation at the end of the loan, which I agree with 150%. Juventus are saying we don't want to do that. We want to try him. If we like him, we'll keep him. If we don't like him, we'll send him back, which is completely stupid, in my opinion. Absolutely stupid. But yeah. Thank you to Mervin, who's just done a super chat. I really, really appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Kieran saying no, there is an obligation to buy. Where are you getting this information from, my friend? Marin saying check Fabrice Hawkins. Who do you think is more reliable? Fabrice Hawkins, who literally is probably like a tier 4 journalist, or Fabrizio Romano? Who do you believe? Like, I could go out on Twitter now and say that the earth is flat. Does that mean it's true? At the end of the day, right, every single one of these journalists on the internet are putting out stories to try and gain followers, to try and gain likes and all the rest of it, right? That's what they're doing. Fabrizio does it, but I don't think he ever puts out fake news. He just regurgitates the same news over and over again. Why would Fabrizio put out a story half an hour ago saying that Juventus are offering a loan with a buy clause and that Manchester United want an obligation to buy? Like, why would he put that story out? And Fabrice Hawkins, who, let me remind you, is a French journalist. Why would a French journalist from Paris get the exclusive story on Jadon Sancho joining Juventus? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Fabrizio is Italian. Why would a Paris-based journalist get the exclusive ahead of Fabrizio? Like, why? So I don't believe it, to be honest. I don't believe it. And you know, people, if you think that guy's believable, then that's obviously fine. That's up to you. People are saying check Fabrice Hawkins. I'm literally on his Twitter page now. I trust Fabrizio over Fabrice Hawkins. Like, yeah, I don't know. But it's up to you, though. Obviously, if you think that Fabrice Hawkins, or you've heard it somewhere else, and you think that that's 100%, you know, happened and that's truth, then that, you know, I can't tell you what to believe or what not to believe. But for me personally, Fabrice Hawkins, to me, like, you look on his Twitter page, he put that story out 3 hours ago, right? This Fabrice Hawkins guy, which people are trying to say is reliable. 3 hours ago, he put out the story saying that the deal is done with a loan with an obligation to buy. And then 30 minutes ago, Fabrizio's put out a story saying something different. Like, do you not think that if this Fabrice Hawkins guy's story was reliable, he put it out three hours ago, and since then nobody else has reported that same story. No one, not the BBC, not Sky Sports, not Fabrizio, not David Ornstein, nobody. Just think about it logically. Why would a journalist from Paris who reports for a Paris-based newspaper get the exclusive on a deal involving Manchester United based in England and Juventus based in Italy? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I believe Fabrizio. Obviously, if you want to believe this other person, then that's obviously fine. That's up to you. I can't, tell you what to believe or what not to believe. So yeah, that's my take on that. But I want to move on from that though, because there is some breaking news coming out in the last couple of seconds that apparently Manchester United are willing to offer Raheem Sterling a 150 grand per week contract if he is prepared to make the switch to Manchester United and to become a squad player. I would do this deal. I would. As I said to you, my priority is sell Jadon for cash. My second priority is a loan with an obligation to buy. But if that fails, I would happily take Raheem Sterling on 150k a week if it meant that Jadon Sancho left. Like, I just don't want Jadon Sancho to go out on loan with no obligation to buy. I just think it just doesn't bode well with me, and I think it's just enabling bad behaviour. It's enabling toxicity at Manchester United, and yeah, so for me, it's a massive no. But let's do a little poll, shall we? So I know a lot of people were getting upset about Sterling. So would you be happy with Sterling if he was on 150k per week? I know a lot of people were really upset about Sterling because of the fact of his wages, which I agreed with. He's on about 300k a week at where is he? Yeah, he was on about 300k a week at Chelsea, right? For 150k a week, I think he'd be a good squad player, to be honest. And if he was willing to be a squad player, I wouldn't really have a problem with it, I think he's decent. I think he would bring experience to our team. I think he would offer us something very different to what we've got already. So yeah, is he my priority signing? No, but if the window goes on and the only option we have is to either loan Jadon Sancho with no obligation to buy or swap him for Sterling, I'm swapping him for Sterling 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, because the loan option for me just isn't appealing. Paying half of somebody's wages and then in 12 months' time, him probably being your problem still, it's like, it's a no. But yeah, you can obviously let me know your thoughts. There's a bit of breaking news coming out. Apparently, Manuel Ugarte has done his medical now, and apparently it will be announced tomorrow. The story says, unless there is any late drama on deadline day. I mean, what late drama could there be? That's a bit weird. I don't know what that means, but yeah, apparently he has passed his medical, and the deal will be announced tomorrow, which is fine. I'm starting to worry that he's not going to be available for Liverpool, though, to be honest. But hopefully he's at least on the bench. Hopefully we at least get a couple of minutes of him, because obviously it's the international break after the Liverpool game for 2 weeks, isn't it? So people in the chat are saying that other channels are saying the deal's done. Look, I can't tell you what other channels have said and what other channels haven't said, right? I've told you the story of who's reported the Jadon Sancho deal being done. I'm telling you that it doesn't make sense. Because why would this... I don't want to go over it again, right? A journalist who's from Paris in France, breaking a story 3 hours ago that the deal is done, and then not a single other journalist in world football is reporting the same story. Why would you believe that story? And then Fabrizio, who is Italian and one of the most reliable journalists, comes out half an hour ago saying that the deal isn't done. Like, it's up to you, isn't it? I could literally come on this video and I could say that Man United are signing Mbappe. I could say the deal's done. Mbappe is on the flight to Manchester. You just have to believe what you want to believe. And I don't believe that this Fabrice Hawkins guy has got the exclusive story on Jadon Sancho. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion. But yeah. And obviously I can't comment on what other channels do. If other channels want to say that it's a done deal and that, he's agreed and he's on the plane or whatever, that's fine. That's up to them. It's not, it's their channel. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me. But yeah, I mean, somebody in the chat says that Fabrizio's saying they're still negotiating. Yeah, of course. But the fact of the matter is that a medical has been booked for Friday, which tells you that there is an understanding that a deal will be agreed. And maybe the deal will end up being a loan with an obligation to buy. But the point I'm making is, at the moment of recording this video, it's not at that stage yet. And if you're watching this video back on repeat, you might be watching it thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? The deal has been agreed now. That's the problem with this kind of content. By the time I finish this video, everything I've said on this video might not be up to date anymore, And it's so quick and it's so fast moving that, like, yeah. But let's move on from Jadon Sancho, though. I don't want to talk about him anymore. So we spoke about McTominay. We spoke about Sancho. We spoke about... I want to talk about this, actually. So Seko Kone has been confirmed as a Manchester United player now. This has been announced officially. And a journalist has come out in the last couple of hours saying that apparently Seko Kone was already on the list before Ineos took over at Manchester United. He caught eye of the United scouts at the Under-17 World Cup. It says it was a very tough negotiation with the club's advisors and managers. So yeah, I mean, this is really exciting, isn't it? I think he's 19 years of age. He's regarded as one of the best up-and-coming young central defensive midfielders in world football. We've signed him for 1 million, which sounds about right. Yeah, so I mean, if you look at our signings for this summer now, right, we've got Lenny Yoro, Joshua Zirkzee, De Ligt, Mazraoui, Manuel Ugarte, Chido Obi-Martin, who hasn't been confirmed yet, but he has done his medical, Samuel Lascelles, who was from Crystal Palace, I believe, and Seko Kone. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 players. 5 of them are first-team players immediately, and the other 3 are like, young, exciting, up-and-coming players. So we've done very well, I think. And our total spend so far is £173 million. And we've raised about 110 in sales. So our net spend at the moment is going to only be about £60 million. Which when you look at it like that, like, I'm not bothered about Man United spending 200-300 million net every season. I would rather they get rid of the players we don't want and then go and reinvest that money cleverly, So yeah, that's my take on that. We've got a super chat coming in from Fedya. Thank you for your chat, mate. Fedya says, Chiesa for only 10 million. He could have played at centre forward, left wing, right wing. What do you think? I don't mind Chiesa. And if anybody doesn't know, Chiesa apparently has joined Liverpool. He's done his medical. He's there right now. I mean, I think they've got an absolute bargain for £10 million, Liverpool. Would I have signed him? I don't know if I would. I do like Chiesa, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't excite me massively. Like, I wouldn't swap Chiesa for Sancho, to be honest. I don't think he's on the level, and obviously he doesn't have the Premier League experience, whereas I know obviously Raheem Sterling's a little bit older, but at least he does have the Premier League experience, which some of the others don't. Just seeing what people are saying in the chat. Still loads of people talking about Jadon Sancho and this story that it's a done deal. Look, the way that this channel's always worked, right? Let me explain it to you for anybody who's new. I bring you news stories. We then discuss the news stories and I give you my opinion on whether I think they're credible. And then it's up to you to make a decision. So, I can't, like, it's completely up to you what you want to think. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on that. There's a little bit of a story here as well, actually, which could actually benefit Manchester United and could get us some more money. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. Apparently, Torino in Serie A are in talks with Luton Town over a deal for Mengi. Now, you're probably thinking, why does that mean anything to us? Like, why are you talking about Mengi? Obviously, Mengi used to be a Manchester United player. And we have got, apparently, a big sell-on clause in that contract. So Fabrizio says negotiations are now underway between Torino and Luton Town for Teden Mengi as new priority defender. It says personal terms are close to being agreed as Mengi has picked new agents, blah, 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 blah. Sell-on clause-wise, I'm trying to remember what his sell-on clause was. I think it was about... Let me try and remember. If anybody in the chat knows, let me know. Yeah, I've just found it. So apparently Manchester United have a 40% sell-on clause for Mengi. So if he goes for, say, 10 million, we would get 4 million. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? And this is another example of how we've put in together these, these clauses in the contracts to say that when somebody leaves, we can get, some of the fee. So yeah, Ted and Mengi to Torino from Luton Town. That looks like a deal that's going to happen. And Manchester United will get 40% of whatever that fee is. So hopefully they get a decent amount. Hopefully they get 10 million and we will get 4 million. Don Bertram says, our net spend so far this window is £63 million. And he also says that he does say that lots has been saved on wages. Yeah. I agree, mate. We've saved so much on wages. So much. We've got rid of 15 players, is it? Something around that kind of mark. Some massive earners as well, like obviously Varane on 350k a week. Martial on 250k a week. Donny van der Beek on 150k a week. I worked out the other day that we've saved over about £1 million in wages so far this summer versus what we've got rid of versus what we've signed. Because none of the players we've signed are on massive, massive wages. They're all on around 100k a week. And some of the players we had before were on over 300 or 250, 300. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. Ginge says, this is what City have been doing over the last few years. It's good to see we've started doing the same. Yeah, exactly, mate. The sell-on clause thing makes so much sense because it allows us to move on youth players who probably aren't going to make it in the first team, like Mengi. You move them on for a small amount of money. They go to another Premier League club, like Luton in this example. They go there, they do well, and then Manchester United sell them for... Man United then benefit from the sell-on clause in the future. So yeah, it's clever business. So yeah, I'm happy about that. We've got over 1,500 people watching now. We've only got 400 likes though. So if you could all do me a little favour and like the video before you leave, that would be really, really appreciated. I don't know why I said leave. I've not finished yet. My brain is all over the place. Also as well, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, right? So tomorrow until Monday is going to be absolutely crazy for me, right? So I know a lot of people, some people might not care about this, but I want to explain so people know what's going on. So this YouTube isn't I don't do this as a job. This is just something I do for fun. It's a passion project, right? So in my actual job, we are running a music festival in England from Friday to Monday. So I'm going to be on site at this place from tomorrow onwards. Now, I'm going to take my camera, I'm going to take my microphone, and I'm going to try and do as many of the normal videos as possible. But I'm just giving you a heads up. So if things go a little bit crazy over the next couple of days and you don't see me, then I've not disappeared, I've not quit, I've not stopped doing it. 100% by Monday, things will be back to complete normal. I know it's unfortunate, it's transfer deadline day, there's nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. I don't think I've missed a show in probably about 6 months, a single day. So yeah, so I'm just letting you know because I know people will be a bit like, where's he gone? What's going on? Why is there not the normal show? So there definitely won't be a show tomorrow morning. I can say that 100% because I'm having to travel to the place. But I am taking my camera, I am taking my microphone. And the good news is as well, for all of those people who have been watching for a while, remember where I was before, where the wallpaper looked like it was at my grand's house and it had the horrible lamp and stuff? It's back there. That's where I'm going to be doing the video. So, yeah, the set will look weird. But yeah, I'm going to try and do all of the morning videos. I'm going to try and do 2 videos a day. That's my plan. But just giving you a heads up because I don't want people to think that I've disappeared. Obviously, normal business will resume from Monday onwards. So yeah, I'm just giving you a little bit of a heads up there. Right. Let's see what people are saying. Okay, let's move on from that though. Obviously, yeah. So that's the latest on that. Obviously, I'll try and do as many as possible, but yeah, I can't make any promises. Just a quick one, actually. Johnny Evans has apparently just announced that he's retired from international football. Fair play. I imagine, to be honest, that Johnny Evans will probably retire at the end of this season, I imagine. I think he's 36, 37. He's obviously got this 1-year contract extension. So, yeah, I imagine Johnny Evans will probably retire in May, June next year when this season ends. So, yeah, Johnny Evans has officially retired from international duty. Michael says, what time is the show in the morning? The show is usually at 8:30 in the morning. That's when the show usually is. But yeah, it might just be that there's maybe not as many live videos. It might be like shorter pre-records and stuff. So yeah, just giving you a heads up. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I will try and do live videos, but I'm just saying I can't make any promises. So yeah, there will still be content. There will still be, we can all come together and chat, but I'm just not sure how it will look or when it will be. So yeah, bear with me. Thank you for all of your support over the last 6 months. I really, really do appreciate it. Normal service will resume from Monday onwards. Trying my best to do as many between then and now, but if I'm not here, that's why. There's nothing wrong with me. I've not disappeared. I've not quit. Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. Please make sure to leave a like before you go. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye for now.